Welcome back to the garden. It is July 1st today, and it just feels like, kind of the middle of summer and where everything is just growing like crazy. And there's so much to show and there's so much to share. So, garden updates might get a little bit more frequent. We'll see as summer goes on. But yeah, July 1st just felt like a really good day to get a start to the garden and do an update. It was thunderstorms and rain all morning this morning, and so we're just finally getting outside now. It's about 11 o'clock, and somebody couldn't be happier. Taking a big rest in the sun. What a good girl. So, anyways, let's go look at the garden. We can kind of just do a quick stop here at the entrance tomato that I grow. Last year it died, and so this year, thankfully, it's not dying, but it is just finally flowering, which is later than the rest of the tomatoes in the garden, which we'll get to in a few minutes here. But so you can see, I've got this giant fasciated blossom right here, which is just so cool. If it would focus, please focus. There we go. So you can see that's at least two blossoms that are together. So I kind of enjoy those tomatoes, and I'm going to let it grow. I know a lot of people pick them, but I'm going to let it grow for now. The Berries Crazy Cherries up here is again kind of just starting to blossom. I don't think this one has any fruit set on it. It is big and lush. Oh, there's a few little fruits down in here, back in there if you can see them. But yeah, it's got plenty of time. Down here you've got I need to tie up the tomato, but the shrimp plant is so happy. I love those plants. They're so cool. I should buy more of them, but they're kind of expensive, so I usually just stick with one. The mandevilla is blooming, and its tentacles are all the way to the top of the trellis, so hopefully in a couple of weeks it'll be nice and full. I do have I don't remember what this plant is. It's some kind of a bean. I can't remember. Hyacinth bean, I believe it's called, that I did grow on here just in case the mandevilla didn't do very well. So it's kind of competing with, but that's fine. It's turning out beautiful. Lily. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. And she's very lazy today, which is kind of good to see. All of these pots are doing really, really well over here. The lily garden is really taking off. These are all going to be tiger lilies that are about 5 feet tall. The tree lilies in the middle there are doing really well. Looks like they're going to bloom pretty soon, probably in the next week or so, that those will start blooming. And that to me is always like the middle of summer, right? When those really start blooming. I had a couple of lilies that are done down here. These ones were yellow. There's some red ones over there that they're kind of sickly. I mean, it's fine, but they don't look that great. But they're still gorgeous. Over here we have baby wrens, and the wren is mad that I'm in the garden because she is busy. Well, both her and the male are busy feeding their babies, and their babies are obviously getting big. So you can see her back on him, I don't know, the parent back on the fence back here, just yelling at me, trying to get me out of the way so that they can do their work. So I'm going to get out of the way so they can do their work. We've got this lily over here. We've got double lilies. There's Lily the dog and Lily the lilies over here. But they're just gorgeous. I need to clear the path for her to get through. You don't eat that. Over here, you know what? This is embarrassing to say that these lilies are gorgeous, but they're still in the nursery pots that I bought them in last year, and I just buried the nursery pots. So I really need to find a home for these, and there's such gorgeous plants. Shouldn't be that hard to find a home for them. This one back here, the Stella Dior Daylily, that's really exciting. That was my mom's best friend's name was Diane, and this was Diane's Stella Dior Daylily. It got really overtaken with weeds and stuff, and last year I pulled it apart and rescued it so that hopefully I can go plant it somewhere where it's going to be happy and healthy. I mean, this might even be the spot once. I kind of strangely end up using this kind of front and center, but I always end up sort of using this spot in the garden to plant things or bury things for the winter. Again, it just doesn't do very well if I don't bury the pots in the winter. So, anyways, this might be a beautiful place to plant these daylilies. So we'll see. You can see my strawberries on the. Oh my gosh, the wren is still yelling at me. You can see the strawberries on the green stalk are really starting to become more healthy, and there's a few berries on there. Strawberry season's about over in Minnesota, but maybe another week or so that the strawberry farms are selling strawberries. You can see the corn here. This is the pink and blue popcorn. I think the blue one's back there. This one's pink, vice versa. I don't know. I don't remember. I'd have to look. I took a note in my phone. But we always say in Minnesota that corn needs to be knee high by the 4th of July. And it definitely is well over knee high. I would say that that's almost waist high. So that'll be great. And then over here, the trumpet vine is starting to bloom. And I am so excited that it came back and it's so healthy, and that we get to keep the trumpet vine, and you know, that I didn't waste 20 years of growth by moving it. I have this crazy zucchini plant. This thing, last year I got no zucchinis. They just didn't do very well. This year I decided to plant them in a pot over here. And I mean, the insanity of how many zucchinis are down in there. Now, there are quite a few of them that didn't get pollinated because the male flowers hadn't been coming out at the same time as the female flowers, but I'm still going to be turned over in zucchini. Look at them growing up here. And I am trying to grow them up a stake rather than letting them flop over. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like I need to tie them up again, but that's fine. It's great to see that. Over here are a couple of fun things. First things, I attacked my blueberry plants and I cut them totally back. They were not producing any blueberries. These were the only blueberries on all 3 of these plants that survived. I did save that one stick so that I will get 1 handful of blueberries, but I just think it was old growth. It was just not happy. We came in here, we chopped them back, and put a bunch of peat moss around them to help with the acidity of the soil, and hopefully we will get some healthy growth from them. They don't seem angry. They don't seem like they're growing very quickly. I'm going to show you in a few minutes what we did to the forsythia, and we kind of did the same thing, and the forsythia is coming back really, really strong. So hopefully these guys come back really strong too. I also would like to point out this pepper. This pepper is hilarious. I was doing a little bit of research online, and I came across a Billy Biker jalapeno, and I had no idea that existed. So of course I did some research. I found a garden place that sold the seeds for it, and when I ordered the seeds, they had live plants, and I thought it might be a little late in the season, whatever, but I'm going to give it a try. So about a week and a half ago, I got this plant in the mail from California, and it is called a Billy Biker jalapeno. So you can see that it's got a little bit of growth on it, and we're gonna see if we can get some Billy Biker peppers. And I did order seeds, so next year I will definitely grow this jalapeno. I thought it was just great. I love it so much. I'm gonna just kind of talk about, I love these hostas. They're just so gorgeous. They're over here they're kind of still rain soaked and just beautiful. They are gonna flower like crazy. I know that some people don't like hosta flowers. I think that's insane. I love them. The bumblebees love them. I love it so much. So watching this hosta come up, we've got that one over there was my mom's. I have starts of that one all over the garden. She called it her heart-shaped one. So I've got that one all over the garden. And then over here, I just love how this little shade garden turns out every year. It's just It's just so peaceful. It's right next to the big vegetable garden that gets so much sun, but because of the way the house is situated, this just never gets heavy sun. So it does really good over here. Every afternoon, the cardinals come in and take a bath in that feeder. I need to wash it. I have a sponge inside that needs to come out. And then over here, you can see the forsythia that we chopped back, like we cut it all the way back. About, probably 4 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did that. And as you can see, it is growing like crazy. It is so happy, and I'm really excited to see just kind of if we do better. I wasn't pruning it properly, and so I'm just hoping that it comes back and kind of turns better into a bush versus the big weird sticks that it was. It was kind of just weird and sticky. I mean, to show everything in the garden right now, it's so happy and so healthy. Obviously, this trellis is growing over, and I put beans on each one of these trellises, and I guess not every one of them, but oh my gosh, are they crazy? And I'm almost regretting it. I'm not sure if I should have done that. While it looks gorgeous, it might be shading out some of the tomatoes. So I'm gonna have to decide whether the beans need to be cut down from those trellises, or maybe at least in the future don't do that again. But it's so pretty. It's hard to be mad at it. I just hope it's not shading everything out. But obviously right now it's really sunny, and the tomatoes are kind of wilty from the sun, so they're certainly getting enough light. Maybe it'll actually be helpful that it will not stress the plants in the really hot days. But you can see that I've got all these beans growing over here. Most of them are red flowers, but there are some pink. So those are, I don't remember. One of them sunrise, one of them sunset. But I noticed these, I plant things and I don't remember what they are, but I've definitely seen these all over that are like tricolored or bicolored, and they're gorgeous, right? So a lot of these beans, I just harvest the beans and then put them back in the garden. So yeah, I don't really know what those are. I could look, but they're really pretty. I like them a lot. Over here we've got the dill is going crazy. I probably should harvest some of it and thin it so that it gets better. These carrots, I probably said this on the last video and I still haven't done it. I've done it a little bit, but I need to thin them really, really bad. They are so thick in there, and that's so terrible for the carrots. But it'll be fine. These ones I did thin, and they are so happy and, getting little carrots on them. I do think that they need to be thinned a little bit more, but they're really happy, healthy carrots. What else is growing back here? I've got kohlrabi that I grew from seed that is making their little debut back here. So I'm going to be covered up in kohlrabi pretty soon. I always grow way too much of it, but that's okay. It's really good. This is covered in aphids. It's kind of gross. This little borage is covered in aphids. And the reason that I am not pulling it out of here is that the ladybugs have found it and they are helping. So it's kind of nice to have something for the ladybugs to eat when I find them, to keep them in the garden. So that's why I haven't pulled them out of there. Here's the little dog to get into. Yeah, what you getting into? Over here we have the Berry's Crazy Cherries, and you can see how many flowers that is. It was really hot while these were flowering, so I'm always jiggling them, hoping that they'll pollinate really well. I do obviously have a few little fruits down there for that. I do have squash that's growing in here, and it's doing okay. It doesn't really want to climb the trellis, and I'm trying to force it to climb the trellis, but it's not really working. I'm gonna have to get some tie tape and tie it up there so that it stays up there. But it's kind of getting to that point where hopefully then it'll just keep growing up. But you can see that there are some little baby squashes growing on it. So maybe I'll get some squash. That would be really cool. These are cucumbers all back in here. That's all cucumbers along that trellis. And they're starting to do really well and climb up the trellis. I have way too many plants in there. I need to do better. But my heart always has a hard time thinning them. So, that's probably bad. But that's okay. I overplanted this. I always do. And I guess it's fine. We got kohlrabi down here. There's two of those here. I've got a little basil plant in the corner here. I've got these are shallots that I grew from seed. And then there's some shallots back here that I bought the sets for. And then there's a little group of celery. I don't generally eat the celery. I mean, I could. It's not that I don't eat it. But I usually freeze dry it and make celery salt out of it. So that's why I grow the celery. There is a Dr. Weish's or Dr. Witchy's tomato back in the corner back there. I need to get the big ladder out so that I mean, this is well over my head. That fence is 6 feet tall. I'm only 5 feet tall. So I need to be able to get back there and tie that tomato up. The whole point of this was to try and keep it from going over the fence, and it's going to go over the fence pretty soon. But it's a really healthy plant. So that's great to see. This tomato plant is again in the shade over here, but it seems to be happy. This one's a big rainbow. I accidentally grew two big rainbows, which is fine. I mean, whatever. It is what it is. I meant to grow two solar flares, and I grew two big rainbows. That happens. These ones are a cosmic burst and a mortgage lifter here. This mortgage lifter is one that I started from seed. And so it's a little behind the giant one that I bought at the greenhouse. I'm kind of comparing them this year. And so far, the one from the greenhouse is doing way better than this one is. What was she doing? How did she get back there? Anyways, cute little dog. The solar flare one has got a couple of tomatoes on it. Lily, no. Oh gosh. She's figured out that she can get back behind there. Hi. Oh my gosh. So good. Sorry. Solar flare has one tomato on it. Some of these tomatoes, I really enjoy growing them, but, I'm sorry, Cosmic Burst. I really enjoy growing them, but they aren't very prolific. They don't grow that many, so I might not grow that one again. We'll see. This over here is one of the, I think this is a pink bumblebee, and it's got little tomatoes all over on it, so that's great to see. I'm going to come over here. These are the sweet banana peppers, and obviously we've got, this one could even be eaten, so we've got banana peppers that are ready. This one, I have to remember what this one is called. This one is a golden hour tomato. This is a Brad Gates miniature tomato plant. And then over here I've got my other mortgage lifter that is one that I grew, so you can see that we're getting some massive tomatoes on it, and it is all the way up there. It's a very tall, healthy plant. This one is a Dream Cream. This one is, I don't need to go through all of this, sorry. This one's Dream Cream. This one is getting a few fruits on it. This one is the Miskovich, a local gardener that I follow on Instagram. Her name is Linka. She just got married, Linka Lynn. And she gave me these seeds. And so I've got a few tomatoes growing on that. I'm excited to see that come up. This one over here is my Berries Crazy Cherries, and that one is really starting to set some fruit and has got some massive clusters of fruit on it. I have peas growing in the middle here, and I haven't gotten a pea yet. Is that a flower? There's flowers on the tops of those. Oh, that's so exciting. I never have any good luck with peas, and I'm trying this year. My friend Lori brought me peas that I had given her, and she has good luck with, and hopefully I'm going to have a couple. They're one of my favorite garden things, and I never get them. this broccoli is super cool and probably needs to be picked. I know that if I didn't grow it so close together, I would get bigger heads on it, and I just don't have that space, so I just deal with the smaller heads on it. But it is so pretty, and I did eat it. I ate this one, so this one's the side shoots because I harvested the main thing, and so these side shoots are so good, just so much fun. This one over here is my Cherokee lime, and you can see it's got a bunch of really big tomatoes on it. Now, Linka, that was from Linka, and she said that hers is not true to the seeds, but hers is a cherry tomato. So I clearly got a regular tomato, but yeah, we'll see. It'll be fun to see what comes of it. This is a different bumblebee one. These ones are always so prolific. I love growing these bumblebees, and I grew 3 separate ones this year. I grew a pink bumblebee, a sunrise bumblebee, and then like my volunteer one that I had in the garden last year are all 3 growing here. This is a Dr. Weish's and Dr. Ritchie's, and I have one tomato back there that is starting. So that one's starting to set some fruit. Yeah, same over here. This is a big rainbow that I don't think, yeah, these big rainbows. They're flowering now though, so that's good to see. And then over in the corner is the volunteer bumblebee one. I'm very proud of this. I know it's so cheesy. I started these broccolis from seed, and so these are my own broccolis. I've never successfully grown a broccoli on my own. I've always had starts from the garden center that are what do better. So, yeah, I'm going to run down this other side. This should be a little quicker. These are all the peppers that are growing, and I'll do a separate video on peppers and tomatoes just in case anybody is curious about them, and it helps me remember what I grew each year. But you can see that I am having a very successful pepper year. These are Tam jalapenos, so supposedly a little bit milder, but not really. These are lipstick peppers that are just getting huge. That's like a sweet pepper. The Swiss chard over here is doing great. I had to kind of come through and cut some just to make some space. This is my Pippin's Honey Gold that I'm kind of growing in the centerpiece of when you first walk into the garden. Sorry about my shadow. But you can see that it's got all kinds of little fruits on it. The wren is over here yelling at me. I don't know if Lily's in her nest or what. Huh. Sorry. Over here is this. I didn't have the heart. This is another Tam jalapeno. And honestly, it was like an emergency plant. I kept it just in case. I always keep plants just in case. And I didn't have the heart to kill it because it was just, I didn't have the heart to compost it because look at how healthy it is. Like if it wants to put on that much fruit, then I threw it in a little pot. Eventually, I mean, these are radishes. They are pretty much done. Oh, I meant to bring these in the house last night. That's funny. So I need to eat these. They look terrible. They kind of bolted. I think I planted them a little too late. But anyways, this will be emptied out and there will be space in this garden for that. So maybe these could go in there. I have some rosemary. Oh, I should show this. This is a sweet heat pepper. And look at how many peppers are on these. These plants don't get very big. I thought they were normal pepper plants in the years past that I've grown them, but they're not. They are just little. They stay really compact, and yeah, they grow crazy amount of peppers. So that's really great to see. This is another one of the Pippin's Honey Golds I grew. So there's one over there and one here. The plants are gorgeous. The peppers are gorgeous. There's a little pepper down there. They turn like 5 different colors before they're completely ripe. I love them. I have beets in here that need to be harvested. You can see down there, there's a beet that's ready to be harvested. So I need to have some beets. I have these 3 sunflowers. Last year I did too many. This year I just did 3 in here. They're the Pro Cut. I think they're red. So they'll kind of come out sooner. I think I'm going to try to start some more seeds in like little pots and maybe transplant them in here once these are done so that like I can kind of succession. So I did try to succession sow some in there, but you can see that like the garden just took over the poor little plants that were down. I don't even know if they're still alive. I'm guessing they're not. Okay, so this is the crazy mortgage lifters. So I bought this plant, and I mean, it was big when I bought it. It was in a 1 gallon pot. It was like a $10 plant, which is so silly because I had my own started. But I just kind of wanted to see how big of a difference it made, with the genetics of maybe where I get my seeds versus where they get their seeds. Also, how how much of a difference it makes in the age of the plant. Like, if I were willing to start them earlier and put them into 1 gallon pots, would they, would I get more tomatoes, or how healthy would it be? This is crazy. This thing is well over 6 feet tall already. Again, it's July 1st. And I have counted about 20 tomatoes in it. It's kind of hard to count them. There's so many of them, but you can see in here that there are just a ton of tomatoes growing in here, and they are going to be huge slicing tomatoes. And it's still just flowering and putting on fruit. I am definitely supporting it heavily with fertilizer because I have it in a pot. So this is crazy to see how much fruit we're really going to get out of this one pot of mortgage lifter tomatoes. I'll probably keep track of exactly, I'll weigh each one and document it, just because it's so crazy already that unless the worst happens and a storm comes in and takes it out or something, hopefully we'll get a record amount of fruit off of this plant. And then just like to end it here, there's the ground cherry. This is obviously doing very well. And there's even a few ground cherries down there that that I can eat. Oh, I probably ate that. Oh, that was a mushroom. That's funny. But there's one here. I don't know if I can get it open. Oh, see, that one's not quite ripe. It's green. I probably won't eat it. But it's getting there. They're definitely getting there where the fruits are starting to get big. And then this is a 2-year experiment that I'm still fighting with. I really want to grow baba ganoush, or make baba ganoush out of a eggplant that I grew in my garden. And so I mean, it's flowering. It's really healthy. The one last year was not healthy at all and didn't do well. I don't know if this is, trying to see. There was a flower and it's not falling off. I'm not sure if there's a eggplant in there yet, but it's not falling off. So that's a good sign. We can walk over and look at what's at the back of the garden and then end this. Again, just a walk through at how gorgeous everything's getting. These 2 raised beds are getting really healthy. I had sunflowers trying to grow on the other ends of them, and that didn't go well at all. So that's okay, but you can see that the castor beans are really taking off, and the green stalk with the beautiful lobelia in there is doing really well. It's got lobelia and some alyssum in it. But we've got some really pretty pots over here with the impatiens growing, and the one tray that I have not planted yet. I was kind of, so I'm using this as an excuse. I needed to plant this stuff, but it is kind of nice to have like filler plants for anything that dies back. I mean, it's the time of the year now where it's time to just find places to plant it. But there are a few pots and stuff that have kind of died back that could probably use some of those plants in it. We come over here and it's the jungle over here that really needs to be dealt with, and I will eventually. But I love these. Aren't these beautiful? They're called jigsaw. I think they're called jigsaw peppers. Anyways, they're obviously variegated leaves, and the peppers are edible, but I think it's really just the beauty of the plant that I grow it for. My hibiscus is mad. Like, that little one died. I don't know why. It died and then it grew back and then it died again. So that's great. I have a tomato plant back there that needs to be tied up, and these squashes are definitely taking off through the garden. It came all the way up over here. I need to send it to the back or something. But definitely got a couple of the squashes that are thinking about making squash. That's great. That's my favorite hosta. I think it's called Big Daddy. Anyways, I love it. This hosta is gorgeous and will, I believe, be similar in size to that. I need to cut this grass, I think pony grass or something. I don't know. It needs to be cut out of there. Back here, there's a few more peppers that are, I always grow peppers in these two weird little pots back here. They do really well back here. I don't, it's kind of weird. It's just, must be the perfect amount of sunlight or whatever, but those two pots do really, really well. Got a couple extra peppers back here, extra micro tomatoes. Oh, it's interesting. This is another broccoli. We're trying to get the beans to grow. This is usually the bean bed, but the wind has just been harsh and knocking everything over here. So like you can see, even the trellising kinds have been flopping this way because the wind is constantly blowing over here, but that's okay. The begonia garden. It'd be great to divide up some of my hostas and just really get things to grow back in here. I've just never had very much luck. I don't know what I'm doing wrong under this garden. I have had, I shouldn't say that because there have been years that it's been gorgeous, but this year's maybe just not one of them. That's okay. The cucamelons are really starting to take off. They're definitely more of like an August thing. They just grow and grow early in the spring. They love this heat. We're having a heat wave. It's actually a little cooler today. It was 100 and, I don't know, 102 or something on Monday. It's Wednesday today, and it's at least a little bit more manageable. These are the memorial gardens back here. We, they're looking really pretty. They're looking really full. Hopefully the stuff will take off. I really think that maybe next year I will just grow like the salvias. The salvias are just so happy. There's a chickadee. The bird feeder is right here, and so the chickadee is like, "Would you move, lady?" The calla lilies, these are gorgeous. I don't know why I never grew them in the past. I even cut a couple of them because they flopped over, and I put them in my on my table. They've been in there for like 2 weeks. They last forever as cut flowers too. They're just gorgeous. This back here, this was some of the, they were supposed to be petite marigolds, and they were growing in my vegetable garden, and I they couldn't grow back there. They were just too big. So I came and plopped them back here, and they're doing really, really well. So maybe I'll dig those other ones up and come and flop them over here. I've been wanting these hostas to take over back here, but it's only been 2 years. So they're trying. I'm probably not supporting them as much as I need to. The elephant ears are starting to come in back here. I think this is going to be really pretty. I think. I hope. Lily. 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 What are you doing? The hydrangeas are gorgeous. They are obviously blooming. I have to step back with the wide angle lens on it to show how beautiful they are. They're just, they're very, very happy, and we do very little to them. They flop over. They always flop over. I'll cut them back next year. Kind of like every other year, I sort of like cut them back to about 18 inches off the ground, and they just keep growing. I just think it's so beautiful. They're just probably basic ones. This is from my mom's garden. There's a little start over here that was from my brother-in-law's garden, but and then this is just more of those being transplanted over there. This I can't get anything to grow right here, and I'm wondering if I need to just move hydrangeas and just have this be like a big wall of hydrangeas back here. I just can't get anything else to grow. I don't know. I've tried many, many things, and nothing ever takes. So we had a compost pile there for a while, and Bill dug that out, so it's got very nice soil in here. That would be great to see. So I think that's about it for the garden tour. There's not much else to show back here, but it is taking off, and just very, very happy garden this year. We're getting plenty of rain, and now some really warm days. We had some nice cool days for a couple of weeks there, but yeah, it's great to see it taking off. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching and happy gardening.